creative transition that I've noticed in Detroit is sort of I would say Detroit is always known as the phoenix, always rising from the ashes. I believe that our motto in Latin is, it actually says that. But when you look at the history of the city and how hard we work in terms of our blue-collar mentality and people who worked in the plants, we don't have that anymore. You don't get up and think about, oh my God, I got to go and try and apply for a job at Chrysler or Ford or GM. They are here. However, there are more people that I see in terms of younger people, young professionals that are coming in that are transplanted from other places that are artists, and they're coming here because we have space to create. We have, in a sense, creative freedom, and we also have a creative class and community that helps to support that. So I don't care where you are, whether you're in Corktown or Hamtramck, which my mother calls Hamdam, or the midtown part of Detroit, which I call Detroit Hills, because we're getting the Whole Foods, and you got to be Detroit Point Park Hills if you got a Whole Foods. I'm just saying. There's just so many people that you run into, and you ask them, so what are you doing? And they tell you, well, I'm an artist. And where are you from? And they're not from here, but they chose to come here because of the creative resources that we have and the creative community in terms of support and collectives that are happening. Me being here at the 555 kind of helps support my creativity, and also it inspires me to keep going. Sometimes I get tired because I'm working and not always in the studio, but when I come back, I'm re-energized. It's almost like a boost, when you have people around you that are like, we're just going to keep going, we're just going to keep doing, keep grinding, every day. Detroit is made up of those kind of people, and if you come here, you don't really come here to just kind of hang out or holiday. You come here because you want to work hard, and if you don't work hard, you don't really need to be here. It's just that kind of mentality. And so the transformation that I constantly see is that, there's an opening tonight, I think, the Red Bull House of Art. You see all of the young creatives that are in there and the output of work that they've done in just a couple of months because someone has given them support and freedom to just create. So it's an amazing place to be, and I can't imagine being somewhere else only because, it gives me that energy. When I go to New York, I'm there and I'm looking for entertainment. When I go to Chicago, I'm there and I'm looking for entertainment. But when I come to Detroit, I know I have to work, and so this is where I need to be to create. And everybody around me is working, so it's sort of like it creates that synergy that, wow, we're all working, so we have to work. And then we can go to those other places and play. People come here and they write. I'm talking about poets and performance artists. It's not just something that is, that you can look at with your eyes, but it's also something you can feel with your hands. There are sculptors that come here from all over the place, from Zimbabwe, because they know about the hair culture that we have here. There was just an opening at the MoCAD on hair, and Zunine Bay was there cutting hair and doing designs in hair. There's also graffiti artists and performance artists and dancers. I mean, it's I don't separate it. I mean, I don't think in terms of just something you can draw or paint, but I'm talking about vocalists like Sky Covington, or there's so many like Stephanie Christian, or there's almost too many to name. Amp Fiddler, but then you also have people like Piper Carter, who's a great photographer and community activist, and Invincible and Dream Hampton, and Jessica Care Moore. So it's a place where you have a community of people who are very much like you, and it's almost like you're in a tribe in a sense, and when you leave it doesn't feel the same. You have to kind of find out where those people are, and when you come to Detroit, they find you because it's almost like immediately we know that you're one of us. So the creative culture does a lot of overlapping, very much like the Harlem Renaissance period, where the writers and the musicians and the vocalists and the visual artists were all together, and they were all pulling together. And if somebody lagged behind, somebody would reach back and pull them together. And I think in Detroit we have that. There's not too many creatives that won't know every third person that you mention. And because the village of this creative class is so tiny, on a large scale, but everyone knows each other. So I think we also help to support that as well.